This is August 3rd, 2026 edition of Baseball Monday. That's what we're doing today. Welcome into the video. Welcome in, obviously, if you're here on the stream. So yeah, I'm gonna go full screen really quick so I can tell you guys what we are doing today without spoiling it for you guys. We are doing obviously the MLB standings checkup. We're gonna talk about teams and whatnot, and then we'll go over the MLB transactions of the past week. Let me update this. Okay. Let me refresh this. Okay. Why is it not showing today's? Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Alright, anyways, we're probably gonna have to refresh this because MLB transaction, but a lot of MLB transactions are happening lately. So with that being said, yeah, we're probably gonna have to backtrack a bit. For sure. Gotta refresh again because why is this thing not working? I want to go over the trades of the last few days. There we go. Probably the best we're gonna get. Yo, that's why there's so many moves. There's been 150 moves that we're gonna go over today just in the past 2 days alone. So with that being said, actually we're gonna go over 200. So we're gonna go over 200 moves, which obviously we go through most of them pretty quickly, and then we're gonna do top 3 teams in the MLB in each league. This is as of right now, not what I think they're gonna be come playoff time. This is right now because obviously I think teams are gonna get more healthy, and I think these ratings should change. But as of this current day, as I'm making this right now, what I think these teams are right now, top 3 teams in each league, so like AL and NL. Then we'll do college baseball news over the past week, and then we are going to do college baseball early national contenders and top sleepers for the next college baseball season. So that's what we're doing today. Not too much, but also not enough. So a good little mix of a good baseball Monday here. Got some talk about MLB, some college baseball talk, and so on and so forth. That's what we're talking about. Again, I'm just gonna say this before we do anything. I'm not very knowledgeable in college baseball. We are I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it, but I just started watching it towards the tail end of last year. As you guys know what I was doing in stream, towards the middle of last year, and it's only so much I could learn in half a year of college baseball. It's hard to learn college sports like that, because like I've watched college football and college basketball like a long time, so like I know those sports, like college hockey for that matter, for the most part, but college baseball just one I haven't really watched, so I'm gonna have to get used to that one. But ooh, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. We're showing screen here. You guys can see what we are doing here. Let me move my webcam up a little bit so it looks a little bit better. Why is it not letting me like do what I want to do? Not picking where I want to put, whatever. Let's put it right there. Is what it is. Okay. Let me get my baseball app open. Okay. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the AL East. We're going to go to the AL Central, then the AL West, and then we're going to look at the AL playoff picture. So we kind of get like all AL, talk all about the AL, and then we'll do the same thing with the NL. Start with the NL East, I believe NL East starts, and then NL Central, NL West, and then NL playoff picture as of right now. And we'll kind of go league by league. That's kind of what the plan is, and that's what we are going to do. Starting with the AL East, we're going to go from top to bottom this time around. Well, we got the Tampa Bay Rays, number 1 in the AL, as of right now, and number 1 in the whole league. They are 65-46. Very, very, very good team overall. If you look at their team, they are second in batting average, 18th in runs. So they don't put up a lot of runs, but they get on base a lot of times. They're 7th in hits, so they get a lot of hits. They don't get a lot of doubles, they don't get a lot of home runs, but they're 12th in triples, so they get a decent amount of triples. They have 19th in RBIs, but they're first in strikeouts, so they strike out quite a bit. They draw a decent amount of walks. In the bottom half of the league for walks, So basically, they get a lot of like singles. They get a decent amount of triples, but they don't get a lot of doubles or home runs or like RBIs. So if they can get a little bit more RBIs and capitalize on some of the scoring opportunity, I think they'll be just that much better. But they are fifth in on base percentage, 10th in on base slugging, 7th in stolen bases. So yeah, I mean, this is a good team. They're disciplined base running, and just yeah, they're just what it is. Hold up. Hold up, bro. I gotta make sure the stats right here. They're actually not very disciplined at the plate. They got caught stealing the most in the whole league. Not very disciplined at the plate. They're not very disciplined at the bases. I don't know why I said disciplined at the bases. That's not what I meant. They're not disciplined at the bases. And that really costs them a lot of times. But they have a lot of talent. They're 7th in the pitching stats, like 7th in ERA, 4th in hits allowed, 8th in runs allowed, 7th in earned runs, 2nd in walks. Like, they're just, yeah. Very interesting. Their rotation's actually very good. They just picked up Freddie Peralta, really helped. Drew Rasmussen is a 10-5 record, 2.91 ERA, 122 strikeouts. And we got Nick Martinez as a number 2, 10-3 record, 2.77 ERA. So 2 great pitchers to start off with the rotation. Also got Shane McClanahan, who's currently injured, but he's been playing quite a bit. He's a 9-6 record, a 3.09 ERA, 91 strikeouts. He's been great this year. I also just picked up Freddie Peralta, who's had a bad year. He had a 5 ERA, but he also plays in New York. Last year, he was with the Brewers. He was 17-6. It was a 2.7 ERA. So if he can get back to even like below 4 ERA, if he can get like a 3.7 ERA, maybe 3.5 ERA at the lowest with the Rays, that's a very good number 4 pitcher who can potentially be number 1 pitcher on some good nights. So that was a 4 pitching rotation deep. That's not even including Griffin Jax, who has a 3.63 ERA, who's a very, very good number 5. And they also got Seymour, who is 4.37 ERA, which isn't good for a 6 pitcher. He's also 7-3, so he gets the job done when he needs to. And listen, there are 4 great pitchers, and the 5th pitcher is also very good, and they have a good 6th pitcher. This is one of the deepest rotations in the entire MLB, in the entirety of Major League Baseball. We also got a bullpen. Closer Brian Baker, who is 1-0, a 1.45 ERA, 46 strikeouts, and he has tons and tons of saves. He has quite a bit of saves. To be exact, he has 31 saves. He has 31 saves this year, one of the best closers in the game. Garrett Clevenger is pretty good out of the bullpen. Kevin Kelly's been really good out of the bullpen for them. Steven Matz needs to really turn it around, though, but Cam Boozer, no, not the basketball player. Cam Boozer is very good at the bullpen as well. Has a 2.05 ERA. Again, they also have a few injuries in the bullpen, but I mean, it's been really good. It's been solid. Alex, like, it's just a few good pieces out of the bullpen. One of the best closers in the game, and that's gonna win quite a bit of games. I mean, all the bats get on base a lot of times. They just need to be more disciplined when it comes to base running, and then we could have some conversations for them really being World Series contenders. I believe the World Series contenders. Not really. Okay, listen. I do think they are World Series contenders, 100%. But I don't know if they're as good as the Yankees. But dude, they 100% could win the pennant. But speaking of the Yankees, they're number 2, who I believe is I'm not gonna even say. You guys might know what I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna say regardless. They are 26 in batting average, so they actually haven't been very good at getting on base. But they're 2nd in home runs, so they hit a lot of home runs, but they just don't get on base often. They like a lot of solo home runs and stuff like that, and they're also 1st in ERA when it comes to pitching, so they have arguably the best pitching staff in the league, and they hit a lot of home runs. That is a success. So by Max Fried, who's a 3.12 ERA, and they got Cam Schleitler, who's a 2.04 ERA. Will Warren, who's a 4 ERA. Ryan Wathers, who's a 3.99 ERA. Garrett Cole, who has a 3.42 ERA. So again, they have like four good pitchers. They have a five-man rotation. I mean, it's a pretty good rotation. I like their rotation quite a bit. They had David Bednar as a closer, great closer. Fernando Cruz is also a great setup guy. Also got Tim Hills, all right, out of the bullpen. Paul Blackburn has been very good out of the bullpen. Ryan Yarbrough has been good out of the bullpen. Triveli, he hasn't played he's been pretty good. He's been actually very, very good for the Yankees out of the bullpen. And he also got Hedrick, who's at 1.42 ERA. So they have arguably the best bullpen in the league. They have a five-man rotation, and they hit a lot of home runs. And they've also, Cody Bellinger's been hurt, and Aaron Judge have been hurt. So if you add Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge to that this is probably my favorite to come out of the AL. Again, there's some good talent out of the AL as per usual, but just interesting to see if they're really able to get on base a little bit more. I think that could be the differential if they could make it far. And then we got the Boston Red Sox, who third in the AL East, 16-51. They are on a 5-game win streak, 8-10 in the last 10. They're the hottest team in baseball. They're 23-3 in the last 26 games. By far the hottest team in baseball. 16th in batting average, 7th in doubles, 9th in triples. And yeah, I mean, they don't get on base a lot, but they do hit a lot of doubles and triples. They get on base a decent amount. They have a third in ERA in the pitching staff. And then if you look at their depth chart, their starting rotation: Garrett Crochet, Ranger Suarez, and Sonny Gray, Peyton Tolley, and Jake Bennett. Those four pitchers right there that he's named are elite. Or not necessarily elite. I mean, Crochet and Suarez, I do think are elite pitchers. Sonny Gray is a phenomenal pitcher, I believe, as well. And Peyton Tolley is one of the best number 4 pitchers in the game. Him as the number 4 pitcher is very good. And they also got Jake Bennett, who also has a 2.9 ERA. So you gotta think, this team is one of the deepest and best rotations in the league. They also got Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock, Tyson Guerrero, Justin Slatton, Greg Risser, I don't know how to say his name, Giovanni Moran, Ryan Watson, and Brian Bello, all coming out of the bullpen. Like, Bello's obviously been disappointing this year, but they have so many good pieces coming out of the bullpen. They get on base. I think this team's also a contender to get the pennant. I mean, I don't know if they will. It's going to be a tough road. But I'm telling you, it's potential. But then you got the Orioles, who are 54 and 58. Just not there, man. They're up a lot of runs this year. I'm not going to lie to you. They do. They're 24th in batting average, 25th in hits. They just traded away Adley Rutschman, which we'll talk about in a little bit. 23rd in doubles. 11th in RBIs, so like a decent amount of RBIs. They're 11th in on-base percentage, but they're 19th in ERA when it comes to pitching, 23rd in strikeouts, 26th in hits. They're just not great at anything. I mean, especially if they lose Adley Rutschman, it's not going to be too great. They're not, like, a terrible team, but they're just not there yet. They're just not, like, they're just mid. I would say mid is a good explanation of where they are. And then you got Toronto Blue Jays, who are 52 and 60, who is also, I would say, pretty mid. The bats have been so disappointing this year. They're missing Bo Bichette. I mean, they're 17th in batting average, but they're 30th in runs. They don't score any runs, like, really. They're 20th in home runs. They don't put up a lot of runs, but they have 12th in ERA, so they have good pitching. I do appreciate their pitching. Dylan Cease is one of the most underrated pitchers in the league, and I'll tell you that. I don't hear enough about him. It's a 2.41 ERA, 7-5 record with the Blue Jays. That's very impressive. Trey Savage is a good pitcher. I don't know if he should be a number 2. I see him as like a number 3, which he was a number 3. He's supposed to be behind Gausman, but they traded Gausman to the Cubs. But I don't know. And you also got Max Scherzer, who's been he's not been good. Shane Bieber's been pretty bad. Barrios is hurt. They got like 2 good pitchers, and it's just not good enough. They have a pretty decent bullpen. I think Jeff Hoffman's pretty good. Lewis Varland's pretty good. Tyler Rogers is very good. Brandon Fisher's pretty good. Mesa Florides are decent. Spencer Miles is pretty good. They also have quite a few injuries out of the bullpen. Jimmy Garcia. That kind of sucks, but yeah, the bullpen has a couple good pieces. The bats have not been good enough. The bats have been pretty bad. They have like 2 good pitchers now, and it's just not going to look any more up for the Blue Jays. That's the AL East. My pick to win the AL East would probably be the Rays. The Rays will probably end up winning it. I just really like the Yankees' chance when it comes to playoff season. I think it'll be I think it's gonna finish the same exact way it is now. I could see the Red Sox taking over the Yankees. I think the Yankees are gonna get Bellinger and Aaron Judge back. So yeah, let me see something real quick. Yeah, both of them are gonna come back in late August or September. Late August or early September, likely. So when they get those guys back, I think they'll hold that second spot down. Red Sox would be close third, and then Orioles. I don't know. I'll take the Blue Jays. No, I'll take the Orioles or the Blue Jays still. I don't know, dude. That'd be pretty close. I don't really know who's. I think I stick with the Orioles there at number 4, and then it'd be the Blue Jays. But Orioles and Blue Jays will probably go back and forth. But yeah. Heading over to the AL Central here, quick little turnaround here to the AL Central. We got the Chicago White Sox, number 1, as they have been like pretty much all year, and now they're getting a little bit of separation, like they are. When it comes to their stats, they're 21st in batting average. They don't get on base like a lot, but they get 9th in runs, 5th in home runs, 17th in doubles, 19th in triples, 8th in RBIs, 16th in walk, 11th in slugging. So, like, again, they don't get on base a lot, but they do capitalize on when they do get on base a lot, and they hit a lot of home runs. They put up a decent amount of runs, put up 531 runs at this point. They put up a lot of runs, they do. But the thing then, they also have good pitching. They're 10th in ERA as a team, 14th in strikeouts, 8th in hits, 10th in runs. Just very good. Headlined by Sean Burke, who's a 3.04 ERA, very good number 1 pitcher. Anthony Kay, the 4 ERA. Davis Martin, the 3.62 ERA. So it'll be Sean Burke, Davis Martin, and then it'll probably be Anthony Kay. So they have 3 good pitchers that I think could be good. I think that's all you really need for postseason. But if you need a 4th guy, they just got Luis Castillo, who's, again, not been great this year. But he's been good in the past. He's had a sub-3 ERA in the past. This guy could be a very good number 3 pitcher. So now they got 4 pitchers in that rotation, which is all you need for sure. 4 pitchers deep rotation. And then you got a couple decent pieces out of the bullpen like Jordan Hicks, Grant Taylor, Sean Newcomb, Brian Hudson, Eric Fetty's decent out of the bullpen. Tyler Schwartzier, Trevor Richards, all good out of the bullpen. So they have a very deep bullpen. They have a 4-man rotation. They have good bats. I think the White Sox are actually contenders to come out of the AL. I think I would have them over the, I don't know. It's tough. Them, Rays, Yankees, and Red Sox are probably going to be the 4 teams to look out for when it comes to the AL. Maybe the Astros, but I don't know. We'll get to the Astros in a minute here. Number 2 is the Guardians. They're going to try to make a playoff spot, but they're 3-7 in the last 10. They're 57-56. Again, 3-7 in the last 10. They're falling off a bit of a cliff. The 28th in batting average, 29th in runs, 28th in hits, 27th in home runs, 19th in doubles, 19th in triples, 29th in RBIs. They have some of the bottom, 3 bats in the league. They're bad. Their bats are bad, but they have 9th in ERA as a team, 4th in strikeouts, 10th in hits, so they have good rotation. With Tanner Beebe's 3.81 ERA and Gavin Williams, who has, let me see this stat. Let me just confirm that this stat's actually a thing. I think it is. I low-key believe it. He has 5 straight games with 10+ strikeouts. Gavin Williams. You also got Quintilo is a decent. But they got 4 pitchers. They got Parker Misak. So they got 3 to 4 pitchers rotation. They got a pretty deep bullpen. I think I like their bullpen, but the bats have just been really bad, and it has not been good enough for the Guardians, and that's why they've fallen off a cliff. And then you got the Minnesota Twins, who are number 3, which I could see them overtake the Guardians if that's a thing that happens. But listen, they're 11th in batting average, 8th in runs, 14th in hits, 11th in home runs, 11th in doubles, 9th in triples, 9th in RBIs. So they have a very good bats. They put up more runs than the White Sox have this year. They put up a lot of runs. They can score. They have great lineup depth. But their pitching has not been good. Joe Ryan is a good number. I think he could be a number 1 pitcher. It's a 3.52 ERA. There's got Todd Bradley, who's been inconsistent, but he's shown flashes of being a good pitcher. But yeah, they got 2 good pitchers. They don't have good pitching rotation depth. The bullpen is decent. They did get AJ Minter, which is a very good pickup. I think AJ Minter will be one of the most used players in that Minnesota Twins bullpen. I think he's going to be huge. You also got Futterberg, who's also pretty decent out of the bullpen. Rojas, who's good out of the bullpen. Gomez, who's pretty good. Andrew Moore. So those are 5 good pieces out of the bullpen. So they have a decent bullpen. I think AJ Minter really makes it complete. They have at least 5 decent pieces out of the bullpen. They just need a couple of those starting pitching depth pieces to really show up, and I think if that could win, I think it could all blend in, and the pitching staff can be a little bit better, and the bats could stay there. I think they will overtake the Guardians to sneak into a playoff spot. Then you never know what can happen from there. So yeah, I think the Twins are a decent team. I think you keep an eye on them. I don't really think they're gonna be like make too much noise even if they do make the playoffs. But I'm just saying keep the eye on them. I could see them squeaking in the playoff and winning a round or two. Like I could really see them surprising some people. I don't think they're contenders. I don't think they'll win the pennant or anything like that. But I could see them making some noise and kind of surprising a little bit of people and kind of be like, well, I didn't see this coming, but I could see it happening. I could also see them missing the playoffs. I don't know, but Tigers are number 4 here. Actually not a bad team. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 54-58 as of right now. 3-game win streak. They're 18th in batting average, 14th in runs, 16th in hits, 10th in home runs, 17th in doubles, 3rd in triples, 13th in RBI. Like the bats have been pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with their bats. Also 4th in ERA when it comes to pitching, 7th in hits, 6th in runs. Like their team's actually pretty underrated. Vladez has been inconsistent. Casey Mize has been actually pretty good. Troy Melton's been very good as well. Montero's been good. Jack Flaherty is hurt. I think they're gonna miss Gruber a lot. So now they have like a 3 to 4 man rotation, which is okay. But I think having that number 1 pitcher as Gruber really helped their rotation. Now the rotation's gonna dip a little bit. I don't think the bats. I do think the bullpen's pretty decent though. But I mean, even so, like I think the team's it's gonna finish around this. It's gonna finish the 4th in the AL Central. It's gonna be decent. It's gonna be okay team. Probably gonna be about 500 down the stretch. And then you got the Royals, who, man, they are hurt bad. They're pretty hurt, man. They're 11th in batting average, 13th in hits, 23rd in home runs, 1st in doubles. So they get on base quite a bit. They get extra base hits, but Cole Raggins is hurt. Upside a minute. Bubic is hurt, Kolick is hurt, and Avila is hurt, and then you also get a few injuries out of the bullpen. Pasqualino's also hurt. They just traded Lane Thomas. Miguel Garcia's hurt. Bobby Wood Jr. is hurt. And yeah, they got a few injuries, but teams like been decent, but it's bad, dude. The Royals are just bad in general. Like they're just I don't know, man. They're just not good, not good. AL Central, I feel like is gonna finish. White Sox number 1, obviously. I think Twins are gonna be 2, and then Guardians shortly after them, and then the Tigers and the Royals. That's kind of how I think. So basically the same thing, just the Twins and the Guardians flip. That's all about that. That's kind of how I'm thinking that's gonna turn out. Then we got the last division in the AL. It's the AL West. Number 1 is the Astros. They're 11th in batting average, 10th in run, 11th in hits, 3rd in home runs, 16th in doubles, 25th in triples, 10th in RBIs, 13th in walks. They get basically somehow they hit home runs. They get like it's good, bad, but the pitching is questionable. Hunter Brown's a good number 1. Spencer Argetti needs to get hurt, but he's been inconsistent. Peter Lambert's been okay. I don't feel like he should be a starting pitcher, but I guess he's alright. He's been 3.06 ERA. He's pretty good for this year, but Javier's been really bad. Rosinski's been okay. Mike Burrows is hurt. He's been okay. Like they have like 1 to maybe 2 good pitchers. That's it. Outside of that, it's a bunch of nobodies. The bullpen is actually decent. Brandon Brady is okay. Josh Hader's very good at the bullpen. Brian King's good. Okert's very good. DeSantos is okay. Blaball is pretty good. Sosa's pretty good. Like they got a pretty decent bullpen. They just don't have any. Their rotation's bad. They got 1 good pitcher. That's pretty much it. The bats are pretty good, including AL MVP favorite in my opinion, Yordan Alvarez. Really kickstarting the offense, and I think a lot of that offense comes behind him. This team's not a contender. They don't have the pitching depth. Similar thing to the Rangers. I just don't think the Rangers are that great. Like they have decent bats, like above average bats, but their pitching staff's below average, and I think that's really different. Nathan Eovaldi has been good this year, but he's not been something spectacular. Jacob deGrom's been very good. Mackenzie Gore's been okay. Rocker's been okay. Crenshaw's been pretty good. Like they have like 2, maybe they have like 3 good pitchers, which I guess is good enough, but Their bullpen is very hurt and questionable. Their bats have been good. I mean, the bats have been good, but nothing like too great. Like, the bats have been okay. It is not a team that really pops at anything, really. Just okay across the board. And they got the Mariners at 55 and 68, who has really been underwhelming this season. Like, man. Obviously traded away Castillo, but they're 28th in batting average, 28th in runs, 27th in hits, 14th in home runs, 29th in doubles, 28th in triples. Bats have been way below average, really bad. They have 8th in ERA. Like, their pitching staff have been pretty good, but they traded one of them away. Now the rotations: Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Hancock, and Bryce Miller, who's actually a very good rotation. If just their bats need to pick it up, I could see the Mariners stealing the division, which I wouldn't be surprised. And then you got the Athletics, who, oh my god, dude, they you want to talk about a cliff they fell off. They were like up here winning the division, and then just down. Bats fell off. They came down to earth, and then the pitching staff is literally the worst in baseball. Like, one of the worst pitching staffs I've probably ever seen in my entire life. Like, this pitching staff, I knew it was bad. Like, I already knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was this bad. Like, it got worse and worse and worse. And the Angels are just bad. The Angels are just, they have no bats and they have no pitching. They're just bad in general. My AL West final standing predictions: Mariners #1, Astros 2, Rangers, Athletics, Angels. Book it. Mariners win the AL West. We'll go over to the wild card talk as of right now. And then we're going to do kind of like predictions at the end. #1's the Rays. Again, they're going to have a bye. I think the Rays are good. I talked about this a little bit earlier. The rotation is one of the deepest and one of the best in the game. I think their bats have been really good. I could see the Rays winning. I could see them winning the pennant. And you also look at the White Sox. Like, the rotation's gotten better and better. They got like 3 good pitchers up there. At least 3 good pitchers up there. They got a 4-man rotation. They do. They got a 4-man rotation. They got a good bullpen. They got good bats. They get a lot of home runs. They put up numbers. They have better bats than the Rays when it comes to scoring runs, and that's what matters. And I think the White Sox could really make some noise. And then you got the Houston Astros, who I don't know. They have like 1 good pitcher. They have no rotation depth. Their bullpen actually is pretty decent, and the bats are pretty decent as well. They don't have any pitching rotation depth, and they could win game 1 and all they want, but as soon as it comes to game 2, and it's over for them. So yeah, and then you got the AL wild card, which is the Yankees #1 currently right now. So it'll be #4, and they play the Red Sox. This is interesting. I think that this matchup is very, very close. I don't really know who win that. That'd be interesting. The Guardians hold the last wild card spot, who would play the Astros. I think the Twins will snag that last spot by the end of the season, but you never know. Right outside of that, obviously the Twins I just talked about, and then the Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, and then Baltimore Orioles, Detroit Tigers, and then we take a bit of a step down for like the Blue Jays, Royals, Athletics, and Angels. So, predictions here: I think the Rays will win the AL, and then it will be the White Sox, Mariners, Yankees, Red Sox, Twins. That's kind of what the playoffs would be like. And then right outside would be like the Astros, Guardians, Rangers. Yeah. And then when we go to the divisions for the NL, which the Braves are #1, 67 and 45. 5-game win streak. Their bats have been very good, like Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, like Jim Jarvis. Like, they have good, very good, one of the best batting lineups in the league. And you also got Chris Sale, who's a great ace. You know, Spencer Strider, who needs to bounce back, but he's been okay. They've been really hurt. If they can get healthy, they're probably, them and the Dodgers are definitely, they're gonna give the Dodgers their best shot. Them and another team we'll talk about who I think is really underrated. Actually starting to get a little bit of love now. Had a great deadline. You know what I'm talking about. But Braves, they're going to give the Dodgers the best shot to try to take down the super team. Try to take down the Avengers. It's going to have to be the Braves. And one other team that I'm going to talk about. And I think it's going to be the Braves. And then 2 teams out of the NL Central, and I think you know who I'm talking about, dude. Yeah, those are gonna be the 3 teams, the best shots to try to take down the Avengers. Try to save baseball, you know. But let's see if they're able to do it. I honestly don't know. But the Braves, I think they're gonna have a good shot. I think they have really, really good bats, deep lineup. I think they could hit very, very well, very consistently, and they also have very good pitchers and a phenomenal bullpen. I think this team could go hand in hand with the best. And I think they could beat the Brewers. I think they could beat the Cubs. Not that I want them to. Obviously, I'm a Cubs fan, but I'm just saying from my unbiased perspective, I think they could. And I think they could definitely beat the Dodgers. I mean, it wouldn't be easy, and I wouldn't really necessarily predict them to beat the Dodgers, but I'm saying it's possible, and it's not impossible to them to beat the Dodgers. Dodgers are not untouchable. They're just very, very good. When you get to Philly, they're 59 and 53. It's one of those teams that have all the talent in the world, are unable to put together. They have Zach Wheeler and, oh my God, who's the other pitcher? Christopher Sanchez, two phenomenal pitchers. They're some of the best pitchers in the league. They also got a couple decent, so they got two phenomenal pitchers. They got like a 3 to 4 man rotation, obviously including arguably the two best pitchers in the league, which I think that could win them the first round. They're probably winning the first round because they have those two good pitchers, but I don't think they're going to do anything in the second round in the NLDS. The NLDS is where it's going to stop. Like, that's where the train stopped. Like, realistically, they're probably going to have to play Braves or not Braves at this point. And if they play the Braves, they're not beating the Braves. But, I mean, realistically, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be closer than a lot of people think. I think if they could get a win or two in Atlanta with some of the worst pitchers, and they can get the 1-2 punch back up in Philly with a tied series potentially, I think they could win that series. But I think you really need to, I think what the Phillies would need to do, if it comes down to that, is they need to force the game 4, which obviously that's easier. Like, you say, oh my God, obviously you need to force the game 4, but like I'm saying, if they could take it to Philly, potentially steal one in Atlanta, because this is assuming they play in the first round, because they're not winning their division, so they're not even going to have a chance to get a bye. They're not getting a bye. So they would have to play in the first round. They would use Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez in the first 2 rounds, or in the first 2 games, right? Assuming they sweep, which actually is very potential. I don't know who they'd play. If it is the Braves in the first round, oh yeah, true, I forgot they played them in the ALD or the AL wild card. I forgot. The receipt doesn't get a bye. Okay, then listen, I could see the Phillies winning that. Again, I could see them winning one of the first 2 games with either Sanchez or Wheeler, and if it comes to Game 3, I think if it comes to Game 3, Braves win Game 3. I think they win Game 3, but I also gotta think the Braves have Chris Sale too, so I mean the Braves have good pitchers too. I don't know. We're not here predicting, but I'm just saying Philly's a team with a lot of talent, great top end pitching talent, a pretty good bullpen. Actually, I don't really know about their bullpen. Let me check about their bullpen, because I'm honestly not going to talk about stuff that I don't know. So I'm going to check up on the bullpen real quick to kind of see what they're at. They also got Luzardo, who's also very good. So they got 3 good pitchers, and they also got Arnold, who could bounce back, but just not been very good. Duran's one of the best closers in the league. Heckering's been pretty good. Jose Alvarado has been bad, but he has potential to be bounce back. Boland's been good. Mize has been good. He's not been very good. Seth Johnson's been okay. Backus has been okay. They got like 4 to 5 good bullpen, which is all you really need. So bullpen's okay. They got a couple of good pieces in the bullpen, but it's just not very deep. They got a good closer as well, which also really helped. They got one of the best closers in the league. Great. A couple good pieces outside of that in the bullpen, which is okay. But they don't have a lot of bullpen depth, which is good. Again, if they do win the first round, that bullpen depth, the 4th and 5th pitchers that's not been the greatest this year will all be exposed, and I think that really what it comes down to. I don't think they're contenders at all. I just think the pitching depth in both the starting rotation and the bullpen are just not good enough. But they have a lot of talent, wicked amount of talent on paper. You never know what they could do. Braves are probably gonna win that division. They've been better at bats, better starting rotation, deeper rotation, and deeper bullpen. They're just better than the Phillies. Marlins 58 and 55. This is an interesting team, 3-game win streak. The bats have been really good. Otto Edwards and Xavier Edwards have been low-key MVP candidates. They've been batting like .330. Like they're low-key MVP candidates. It's the 2 great bats. They also got a couple of other good bats as well. And then their pitching staff is okay. Their pitching staff's not great, but it's not terrible. Like, the pitching staff is serviceable to the point where they could win some games. And they could compete for a playoff spot. And they're going to compete for a playoff spot. They got the Nationals 55 and 58, which have significantly better, like, arguably the best bats in the entire league. Like, the best bats in the entire league, but a horrendous pitching staff and one of the worst pitching staffs in the league. And that's why pitching staff's so important. Pitching staff just as important as bats. And you could tell best batting staff in the league, 3 games below 500. That's how important pitching staff is. At the end of the day. Mets 47-66. They have like a top 3 payroll in the league. Still somehow one of the worst teams in the league. I don't understand how they do it every year. But yeah. NL East predictions, probably the same thing is going to be here. At least the Nationals somehow get insane pitching, a guy that just takes over. A couple guys that just do really good in the rotation, which I highly doubt is all going to happen. It's probably going to be the Braves, Phillies, Marlins. Nationals and Mets probably finish the same way. I don't really see much change happening here. Again, at least the Marlins or the Nationals flip, which I don't believe is going to happen, or the Marlins and Phillies flip, which I also don't believe is going to happen. So I'm confident with the way it looks right now. I think that'll be similar to what it finishes like, if not identical. I think at the NL Central, Milwaukee Brewers #1, right? Listen, if you want a team that has a chance to take down the Avengers, it's Brewers. You got Jacob Mizorowski, probably the best pitcher in baseball, #1. Yes, Kyle Harrison's hurt right now, but also one of the better pitchers. He has a 3.01 ERA, phenomenal. Woodruff also has a sub-3 ERA. If he can get healthy, you never know. Sparat, okay. Duran, so they have a 4-man rotation if they can stay healthy. But if they don't stay healthy, but to stay fully healthy, they have a 5-man rotation. Their rotation is very good. But if they're not healthy, they still got, as of right now, they still got a 3 to 4-man rotation. But if they're fully healthy, they got easily a 5-man rotation. So I think they got a very, very good rotation. Bullpen's actually very good, and they have decent bats. Like, their bats have been very good this year. They're top 5 in they're 5th in batting average, 5th in runs, 6th in hits. They hit the least amount of home runs this year, but they get on base a lot. So yeah, they drive pitchers insane. And I'm telling you, this is one of the top 3 teams that I believe have a chance to knock down the Avengers and the Dodgers, who we will talk about. But the other team that I strongly believe, and you could call me biased all you want, strongly believe have a chance to take down the Dodgers, especially after the GM deadline that they had, and that's the Chicago Cubs. Right now, they're 63-49. They came off a losing series against the Yankees, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously, it's a bad thing they lost, but I'm saying it's not like terrible. Oh my God, they lost to the Yankees. Like, it's the Yankees. It's okay. They obviously have been hurt, right? But that's when it comes in the trade deadline. Okay? Trade deadline. Okay, the trade deadline coming on in. They get Clay Holmes, helps the rotation, get some rotation depth. We're going to go over what the Cubs added. Cubs deadline acquisitions. I low-key don't know how to spell that. Okay, I guess so. They got Kevin Gausman. That could be their #1 pitcher if they wanted to. Kevin Gausman. They also got Clay Holmes. So Clay Holmes can get healthy and return back to normal. Kevin Gausman. That could be your like #2 and #3 pitchers right there. You also got Braxton Garrett, who is good out of the bullpen. I think he wouldn't be bad he's been in the bullpen, but he's searching for rotation depth. So you can play either one. And Ryan, I'm not gonna try to say his last name. It's Zefferjahn. Back into the bullpen. Very, very good bullpen. So now they added more to the bullpen. The bullpen's gonna get healthy. Add a couple pieces to the bullpen. Added a couple starting rotation pieces. Really helped some of that. Daniel Palencia is gonna start coming back soon. Hopefully, like a few of like Porter Hodge, Riley Martin, Hunter Harvey, Phil Matten, Ethan Roberts, or Gavin Howell. Some of those guys will get healthy. You added a couple pieces to the bullpen. You added a couple pieces of starting rotation. Deadline's not even done yet. Point is, he added a lot to the bullpen, the pitching staff, which they needed. The bats are all-star, of some of the best bats. I'm telling you, if his team can put it together, his team will be a contender to win the pennant. And I'll tell you this right now. And again, well, you can call me biased, and I don't really care, but I just backed it up. They're gonna get healthy in the bullpen, and they added some to the bullpen, so the bullpen will look better. They added like 2 great. They added 1 like great pitcher and 1 pitcher who could be great if he returns back to form in the rotation. And they also, Justin Steele starting to warm up, so he's going to get back to the bullpen soon, and that's another addition to the bullpen. The bullpen just got that much better. Justin Steele's going to be there pretty soon. Also got Edward Cabrera's going to be back soon in like mid-August, I think. He's going to be back soon. That's going to add even more to the rotation. So they're going to have way more rotation depth, way better bullpen. They already have top-tier bats. I'm telling you, the Cubs team, Cubs and Dodgers see who go to the World Series, I'm telling you, that's a possibility. Like, that is genuinely a possibility. Like, again, I have a Chicago Blackhawks shirt on. Obviously, I like most Chicago teams, besides the Bears. I'm a Packers fan. But regardless, not about me. I'm just saying, this team has potential. Shock a lot of people. And I really believe that. And the Pirates are 56-57, somehow phenomenal bats, but the pitching staff, which is supposed to be one of the better ones, have just not been good this year. Paul Skeens having a down year. Ashcraft have been having a pretty bad year overall. Like, not a bad year, but for his standards, it's been okay. It's like, that just kind of... It's just not... The pitching staff's not been good enough. The bullpen's pretty bad, too. Cardinals 55-57, right, half a game behind the Pirates. 3-7 in the last 10. The bats have fallen off a cliff. Pitching staff actually hasn't been that terrible. Just the bats have been bad lately. And then he also got the Reds 53-58. Terrible pitching staff. They got well, on paper it's not bad, but the starting rotation's been hurt and the bullpen's pretty bad. That leads bad pitching staff, pretty mid bats, leads to a pretty bad team. So that's where they kind of are right now. I know Central standings predictions probably realistically would probably be Brewers, Cubs, Pirates, Cardinals, Reds. The same way as it is right now. Again, I could see like Cardinals, Pirates swapping, maybe the Reds going some crazy hot streak at number 3. I could see the Cubs maybe winning the division. Like, I don't know. A lot of things could happen, but I'm just saying in general, probably the most likely outcome is probably the NL Central happening the way it is right now. And then here we go. We got the Avengers. We're gonna talk about the addition that they made. We're not gonna talk about it right now. Actually, yes, we are. Take Screwball. That is stupid. The MLB needs a lockout. Listen. You should not be able to get... There's no way. They just got the best pitcher in baseball while also having already arguably the best rotation in baseball. They just got the best pitcher in baseball on top of that. And you already have arguably the best bullpen in the game. And then you also got an Avengers assembled of a lineup. Actually nasty lineup. Like, this team's going to be the favorite to win it all. If there's going to be teams that could take down the Dodgers, which are the Avengers, it's going to be Brewers, Cubs, or Braves. So it's going to be the 3 teams. Like, dude, I obviously, as a Cubs fan, I don't like the Brewers. Like, I objectively don't like the Brewers. I don't like the Brewers. And I'll tell you that. But if it came down to the Brewers or the Dodgers, I would cheer for the Brewers 100% because that's how much I don't want the Dodgers to keep doing this. The back-to-back champions already. They just added the best pitcher in baseball on top of already arguably the best rotation in baseball. Arguably the best bullpen in baseball. Best lineup in baseball. Back-to-back champions already and could still add more. Dude, this team's literally the Avengers. And if the Brewers take them down, I honestly would be happy. I think it's going to be the Brewers, Cubs, or the Braves. They're going to be the only teams that are going to be able to beat them. I really think they're the only teams that have a chance to beat them out of the NL. And the AL, I really don't know if any team could beat them out of the AL. Maybe the Yankees, but I don't even know if I want the Yankees to beat them at that point because I don't like the Yankees either. But at this point, anybody but the Dodgers. At this point. But yeah, I don't know. The Dodgers are just the Avengers, and I think the only really teams in the NL that could have a chance to beat them are the Braves, Brewers, and Cubs. Kind of how it is. This is what it is. Yeah, the Dodgers are definitely the favorites. That would be my pick to win the championship as of right now, unfortunately. But yeah. And we got the Diamondbacks, 59-53. They're actually going under the radar of quite a bit of people. They're actually a fun team. They're decent bats. Like, the Diamondbacks aren't necessarily a good team, per se, but they're not a bad team. The 19th in batting average, the 12th in runs, the 18th in hits, the 28th in home runs, 6th in doubles, 1st in triples, 14th in RBIs. Like, they score a decent amount. They get on base a lot. They get a lot of triples. And the pitching staff's about middle of the pack. And they've been hurt. So if they can get the starting rotation healthy, and like their whole pitching staff's pretty much hurt. So if you can get healthy in that pitching staff, dude, this Diamondbacks team, I'm telling you, I mean, they're not contenders, I don't believe. They give a run for their money. And I'll tell you that. I also get the Padres 58-54, just slightly above 500. 8-2 in the last 10. They're starting to come back a little bit. Pitching staff starting to lock in a bit. Bats are starting to turn it around slightly a bit. I don't think it's like too sustainable, but you never know. Maybe they could overtake the Diamondbacks, squeaking into the playoff spot. They're a game behind. They're the playoff spot. So yeah. And the Giants and the Rockies both have Giants, some of the worst bats in the league, and okay pitching, like bad pitching. Rocky is actually one of the most underrated bats in the league. Obviously, they play in Colorado. It's a little bit inflated, so like slightly above average bats when it comes to like if you're including the fact they play in Colorado. But they have them and the Athletics by far have the worst pitching staff in the league. It is not even close. Like genuinely not even close. Like, I would say the Athletics have worse because obviously the Rockies play in Colorado, so they hit more home runs against them and for them. So they're both a little bit inflated compared to other teams, but still really bad pitching staff. I'd say Athletics have the worst pitching staff, and then Rockies are decently close second. In my opinion, in my opinion, anybody I want to win except the Dodgers. Exactly. Like at this point, like go take down the Avengers Brewers. Like honestly, if they do it, I wouldn't be mad. Obviously, I hope they lose the next round. Like, obviously, I'd never want the Brewers to win a championship, but I would root for them over the Dodgers. I genuinely do not want the Dodgers to win. Like, I never used to be a hater of the Dodgers until they just got Scoop Ball, and that really made me realize how good this team freaking is. Like, it's actually genuinely, like, should be illegal how good this team is. We're going to look at NL wildcard real quick. This took 40 minutes to get done with just this. Brewers number 1, probably not going to last. Dodgers number 2, they're probably going to move up, but I think the Brewers have a very, very good rotation, good bullpen, good bats. I think the Brewers are very, I wouldn't say underrated, but I think this team 100% is the World Series contender, sad, unfortunately, but Dodgers also obviously World Series contenders, so like, yeah. Braves, World Series contenders, so those 3 teams are better than these 3 teams, 100 million %. You also got the Cubs, who I also think are World Series contenders. Diamondbacks, who if they could stay healthy, they're a fun team. They could make an NLCS run, so it'll be fun to watch too. And you also got the Phillies, who have all the talent in the world. Like this NL playoff, it's actually stacked. I feel like the Dodgers will finish 1, and then it'll be the Brewers, Braves, Cubs, Diamondbacks, Phillies. That's it. I think that's what it'd be. Like, genuinely, I think it'd be like this, with the Dodgers will move up there. I think Dodgers will flip with the Brewers, and that's about it. Okay, that's it for that. That took like about 40 minutes. Maybe even more than 40 minutes to get done with that, but that was very fun though. I'm gonna be able to go over less like additions, you know. But we're gonna quickly go through this real quick. You know what I meant. I'm gonna go down here. There's 150 things here. Lane Thomas traded to Atlanta. This is pretty interesting. Center fielder for Braves. I was actually impressed with Lane Thomas when he was in Kansas City. I actually was keeping my eye on him. I was pretty surprised when he got traded to the Braves. Estilo, third or fourth man in the White Sox rotation. Added some rotational depth. I think they really needed that. I think that was a big time pickup. Traded Anthony Dominguez, Nolan Jones, and Boston Smith to the Mariners in return. Freddie Peralta traded the Rays again. That's like their third or fourth pitcher as of right now. Could even be their first if he goes back to last year's form, but. Again, a third or fourth pitcher is the number 1 pitcher upside. Great pickup for the Rays. Mets got 4 prospects in return. And they got Tyler Loan traded the Blue Jays later to be announced for Kevin Gausman, who's a great pickup for the Cubs. Couple of other moves you look here. I'm not going to really say all of them because again, we don't have that much time, but there's Kevin Gausman that got announced there. And then, yeah, that's kind of that. Then we're going to go to previous. Go down. Craig Kimbrell got designated first assignment from Tampa Bay. Up here, they kind of look through here, what we're looking at here. Luis Garcia got traded to the Yankees. That's interesting. Luis Garcia is a very good pickup for the Yankees. The Yankees are definitely World Series contenders, and in my opinion, will win the AL pennant. Yeah, you can kind of look through this here. Joe Adell traded Cleveland from LA. That's an interesting pickup. I really like that pickup for right field for the Guardians. And Taylor Ward also got traded to the Mariners for left field. Again, add a little bit of the bats, which they need desperately. Alex Hop traded to Baltimore. And that's what happened August 2nd / August 3rd. And then we go to right now. We are going to refresh this real quick. Now we're going to go down to the bottom here and look at this here. Chris Martin, there. Never mind. I thought that was somebody else. That's not as important as I thought it was. Never mind. Robbie Ray, traded to San Diego from San Francisco. With Miguel Mendez and Joniel Hernandez. Robbie Ray, decent rotational depth there. And then you got Adley Rutschman traded the Red Sox today. That was earlier today for a few prospects. Adley Rutschman, one of the better catchers in the league. A huge pickup for the Red Sox. They really needed a number one catcher to add to the bats and defense. I think the Red Sox are also, like, I don't even know if they're underrated at this point, but they are definitely a AL pennant contender. I wouldn't say World Series contender, but I would say a pennant contender. Braxton Garrett traded the Cubs. Good rotational / bullpen depth there. Dusty May traded Milwaukee for Jojo Ramiro. Where's Jojo Ramiro for Alexander Frias and Josiah Rexdale? So 2 starting pitchers for some depth for Milwaukee for a few prospects. And then Mo Baller traded, and Mason McGuire traded to the Angels for Ryan. Again, that was the guy I was talking about earlier. A great for back end of the bullpen, good setup guy. Then Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor also traded to the Cubs. More outfield depth, you never can go wrong with that. Maybe give PCA a break here and there down the stretch, comfortably without having to deal with it. And then Clay Holmes, starting pitcher. Again, he's doing his AAA rehab right now. He didn't have the greatest of starts last game, but I think if he can get back to his form, he could be a 3rd or 4th pitcher in the rotation, but at the worst, he'll be like a 4th or 5th guy in the rotation. Add some more rotation depth, add a little bit more comfort when it comes to that rotation. Don Varsho did get traded to Houston for Spencer Arrighetti, and Spencer Arrighetti, he's hurt right now. Not been very good for Houston. I think good pickup for Houston overall. Really going into the bats a lot. Then you got Joey Bart traded to Chicago from Atlanta. And Marcelo Meyer traded to San Francisco from Boston for Eric Miller. Just the transactions over the past couple of days, 150 of those is what we just went over. I obviously didn't go over every single one of them, but yeah. See, now this one will be pretty fun. Okay? We're gonna go over top 3 MLB teams in each league, like AL and NL. This is of right now. This is no like future. Like, this is not like what I predicted would be for playoff time or anything like that. This is as of right now, this current second that I'm uploading this, August 3rd, 2026 at 5:03 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is the list that I'm making right now, okay? I'm gonna go down the list here. I'll be ready. I didn't even do that, my bad. We're ready here? Okay. Kind of spoiled it. You kind of get the point. Okay, listen. Stop spoiling. Oh my god, you know what? It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter at this point. I already know who it is. Number 1 is the LA Dodgers, obviously. The Avengers. I already talked about this a bit earlier. Taylor Schubel, best pitcher in baseball, number 1. And then you got Blake Snell, multi-time All-Star. Ty Glasnow, multi-time All-Star. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, future All-Star. Shohei Ohtani, if he still wants to pitch, is also an All-Star. Is like a sub-2 ERA. Rob Belowski, I believe I say his name something like that. He's the 6th man who has a sub-3 ERA. Actually, genuinely, like, insane. Number 2 is the Brewers, if you couldn't tell right here. Brewers, obviously best, like, him and Scooble. I would say Mizorowski's probably the best pitcher in baseball right now. Actually, Scooble's probably second best. But Mizorowski, like, the best pitcher in baseball. Deep rotation, deep bullpen, good bats. Like, this team's gonna have, I think, the best chance to take down the Dodgers. And then you got number 3 is the Cubs. This is before all the moves they made today. It was. And now I can make an argument for them being above the Brewers. I'm going to keep them at 3, and then 4 would be the Braves. But, yeah. I'm going to do that just so it looks a little bit better, because I already did that. Okay. I'm going to go to a full screen so I can fix this real quick. So you guys definitely have no clue what I'm doing here. You guys know what I'm doing, but it's fine. So I can fix this real quick. Okay. Now we got the AL. Okay. Oh my gosh, stop that. Thank you. With the AL, number 1's the New York Yankees. New York Yankees, I believe, is my number 1 team in the AL. They have some of the best bats, the best rotation, arguably in all in baseball, let alone just the AL. One of the best bullpens as well, and they have a lot of bats. And Bellinger and Aaron Judge has been hurt, and they're still doing this. So, yeah, Yankees are my number 1 in the AL. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, them and the Yankees are the 2 best rotations in the entire AL by a margin. Rays also have good bats, but not as good as the Yankees. Just a step down when it comes to bats and the bullpen as well. So, Rays are very good teams, I believe just one step down from the Yankees. And then we got the Chicago White Sox, who have now a 4-man rotation. Pretty good bullpen and great bats. I think they're definitely number 3 in the AL. I think that is my team. You also got other contenders like the Red Sox, potentially the Astros. They could lock it. I wouldn't even say they're really good contenders. Maybe like the Mariners maybe could do something, or like the Twins or Guardians of this weekend maybe could win a round or two, but that's about it. Really, only contenders are these 3 teams and the Red Sox. Those are about the only 4 contenders I would say have a chance of winning the AL. Then you also got the only few teams that could come in. I think there's 6 teams for sure that could come out of the NL. Like all playoff teams could probably realistically come out of the NL and go to the World Series, because I think all of them have talent, obviously more than others. Like I think the Dodgers obviously have the best chance, and like these top 4 teams, like the Dodgers, Brewers, Cubs, and Braves, obviously have more of a chance than Diamondbacks, Phillies, and Padres. I think those 3 teams could also maybe make some noise. You never know. Specifically, Diamondbacks and the Phillies think have more of a chance than the Padres, in my opinion. But again, you never know. We'll just have to find out and see which ones do make the noise. We kind of got to hurry up here. You got like a few minutes here. Big time moves here. Transfer portal updates. Over 3,400, nearly 4,000 players that entered the NCAA transfer portal. This is over the last week. Major hires on Coastal Carolina bringing national championship coach Chris Lemon. I don't know how to say his name. And Houston securing Davis as head coach. And top collegiate prospects and stuff like that happening. So a lot of stuff happening in college baseball, but nothing too crazy. So I did this last night. This is top national contenders for next year. Texas Longhorns head coach Jim, I can try to say his name, brings back elite arms like BA Freshman of the Year Dylan Volantis, Thomas Burns, and anchoring a staff expected to dominate the SEC. And then UCLA Bruins, led by John Savage, a Bruins builder on superstar infielder Rosky, first overall pick, alongside transfer Will Gasparino. And then LSU Tigers, Jay Johnson reloads the Golden Standard program via top incoming freshmen like Lucas and Malachi Washington. North Carolina Tar Heels, Georgia Bulldogs, Arkansas Razorbacks, and Tennessee Volunteers. Top sleepers, you also got Oklahoma State Cowboys, Oregon Ducks, Auburn Tigers, Mississippi State Bulldogs, Wake Forest Deacons, West Virginia Mountaineers, Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, and Coastal Carolina are some sleepers for the national championship next year. And yeah, that is going to do it for college August 3rd, 2026 edition of Baseball Monday. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.